Hey guys, this is Accounting Nightmare, and this is my challenge mode run for Gate of the Setting Sun. So I started recording a little bit late here, as you can see. You only missed the first few seconds. We just ran in, pulled these groups, that's it. This was actually a very bad pull for me because I suddenly realised I didn't have my food buff. Then I did a dash to catch up to the tank and I started frapsing. That's why the fraps is a bit late. So this is a very bad run for me personally, which is why I'm surprised it ended up being our gold run. Yeah, so we pull all the groups here except for the last one. And then we just do that one separately. There's 3 different things these groups do which are very scary. One is the smoke bombs. They drop it on the tank and the smoke bombs will kill line of sight. So you want to make sure you're stacking on the tank or you won't have line of sight to heal him. They can be very unresponsive, so I don't really like them. Sometimes I'll be out of the smoke bomb, he'll be in there. I'll run in and it'll take the game a few seconds to recognise that yes, I am in the smoke bomb. Yes, I can start casting a heal on the tank. Yeah, so make sure you're stacking on the tank, and that's a lot more responsive. Also, if you're in a smoke bomb and he's not, that'll still kill your line of sight. So they also drop these bombs which explode in a big cross shape. It's just like Bomberman. Don't get hit by those. They don't one-shot, but they get you down to low health. And the final thing is these sappers. They jump on random people's backs and start beating the crap out of them. You have to heal them through this. They melee very hard. They hit me for over 100k per hit on cloth. So if someone gets hit by a bomb, then they get a sapper, they're pretty much just dead. So on to the first boss. Before this guy, I like to drink, but sometimes combat just will not break there, and I just have to tell them to pull, and I just have to deal with whatever mana I've got left. Kind of annoying when that happens, but you don't need a lot of mana for this guy. He's not very healing intensive. It's pretty much just make sure you're not lined up with a bomb. And when we get sabotaged, we run to the corner. And when someone gets sabotaged, usually they'll take damage when it explodes, so I'll try to make sure everyone's topped up. Yeah, this boss doesn't hit the tank very hard, so there's really not much going on here unless people are getting hit by bombs over and over. If someone gets sabotage on them, right when the boss dies, the sabotage will still blow up, like that. So you've got to watch out for that. Okay, so that's the last time we'll see those bombs in this instance, thankfully. Now this pull, once you figure out how to do it, it's not too bad, but it can destroy you if you don't handle it just right. The wind shaper here has to be interrupted. You can stun him, do whatever you can to stop him from casting that spell, because it's a big AoE blast, hits everyone. A few ticks of that will just ruin you. You just can't heal through that stuff. This group will also drop smoke bombs, but so you can just all stack on the tank and you should be fine for line of sight. The DPS will need to stack on the tank too, otherwise they won't be able to attack or silence or anything. Usually I have to pop a tank cooldown in that group. Usually I use Void Shift, but I was able to get away without it that time. So we're coming up to the worst trash pool in the instance, and there's this little bridge you have to run over before it, and the boss is headbutting the bridge. If you jump at the right time, you don't get stunned. But I really hate when Blizzard puts those particular things in the game because it's really unresponsive for people with high latency like me. You have to jump super early so you don't get stunned. You have to figure out your own personal timing if you've got high latency. I've got over 200 ms. And sometimes I'll jump and I'll get stunned in mid-air, so once you figure it out it's not too bad, but it just means there's an added learning curve. So this pool is very scary. There's 2 wind shapers, keep them stunned and interrupted, whatever you can do. There's a smoke bomb, and there's a rager who hits pretty hard and he puts a cleave on people. Pretty nasty. So we have the tank pull them all and turn them all away, and we all stack on their butts so that we'll be in the smoke bomb, because otherwise you can't heal the tank and you can't interrupt or anything and you're just dead. I took some cleaves there, put a dot on me, I'm not sure, I might have been too close. Alright, so here as the healer, drink right now. You'll see why in a second. So this group of 3, you can CC 2 of them and ignore them, because you only have to kill 1, because you have to kill a certain amount of mobs in the instance for the challenge mode. The other 2 you can CC, run past, and when you go up the elevator then they will reset. Once you're on this elevator, make sure you jump, otherwise you might bug out and fall through it, and That's not fun, obviously. You're kind of screwed when that happens. You have to reset. Yeah, if the CCs go bad, you'll be stuck in combat right here and you won't be able to drink. And just as a holy priest, I need all of my mana for this boss because I'm going to be using flash heal a lot. So that's why you want to make sure you're topped up before that trash ball in case it doesn't do just right. Yeah, so this guy's kind of scary. He drops acid bombs. They're not too bad, but they're a good reason not to stack up, or you'll have a bomb under everyone. When he does the bombing run, make sure you're standing near the tank so you can grab the adds off of you nice and quick. The bombing run is always 2 passes. He does one, then he does it in the other direction. So put a mark or something on your tank's head so you can follow him around. You're going to want to make sure everyone's near the tank, just for healing range and for the adds. And yeah, as soon as he finishes the bombing run, the boss will come down and do a pray time. This is very dangerous. As a healer, you need to flash heal and spam the shit out of people who have that, or they will die. You see right there, I didn't have the Warlock quite topped up, so he would have died if I did not put Guardian Spirit on him. So yeah, Guardian Spirit's quite nice. And then right after the pray time finishes, he'll turn around and start hitting the tank quite hard. If he's still got adds on him, then that really hurts. Because you'll be flash hitting one person, then suddenly the tank will just drop like a rock. So make sure your tank spares some tank cooldowns for that particular moment. Doing another bombing run here. Yeah, you'll see my mana's just dead because I just have to flash heal so much to make sure everything doesn't go horribly wrong. You want to make sure everyone's topped up as much as possible. You're actually lowest priority in this fight. You still take some damage from the adds, but the DPS are the only viable pray time targets. You want to make sure they are topped up, because if they're not, then unless you've got some amazing quick kills, they're probably just going to die from pray time. Sometimes you'll be stuck in a situation where pray time goes off and you'll have a bomb land under you. You're just going to have to stand in it, unless you've got really good heals on the run. I just have to stand in it as a holy priest. The acid bomb doesn't do that much damage, thankfully. So once the boss is dead, someone who can move really fast goes downstairs. That's our monk tank. He's an engineer, so he uses his rocket boots. And everyone else spams the cannons. And I make sure everyone's topped up, and then I drink. Because after we skip the cutscene, it's on. This trash will burn your mana. There's no more smoke bombs. But there's rages who hit very hard and they cleave. Don't stand near them. I found that out the hard way. And there's wind shapers who have to be handled just like normal, interrupt, stun, whatever. You don't want to pull several groups at once here because this trash just hurts so hard. Especially because the rages get, they get an enrage of some kind as they get lower and lower health. 2 groups of that, and you're going to need some just unreal cooldowns to survive that. The second group is exactly the same as the first. It's mainly just to drain your mana as a healer. To get gold, we don't risk waiting to have me drink up, so I try to be as careful with my mana as I can, because we're going to go straight into the boss. The boss isn't too bad on mana, as long as things don't go horribly wrong. So this is the guy you want your tank to be kiting, and make sure no one gets hit by that frenzied assault. I assume it hurts really bad. I haven't been hit by it. Just make sure you're standing in a good spot as healer so you don't get hit with the poison trail or the frenzied assault. The ends are the worst part of this fight, really. Hopefully your tank has a way to pick them up from distance. If not, you can use stuns and snares and such on them as well. And you can fear them. That's really handy. Yeah, so when the tank turns around, make sure you're not standing in the path. That's obviously pretty bad. And at some point, a saboteur spawns. Oh yeah, there he is. And suddenly the AoE damage just explodes. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do about him other than just heal through it. Kill him. Actually, no, we ignore him actually. We finish off the boss. When the boss is getting low, you can try and have everyone at the doorway so that you can just run on to the next part. As a healer though, I can't really move quite that much. I have to keep stopping to heal the tank, otherwise he's just going to drop. And then as soon as the boss fight's over and I'm out of combat, I want to drink up. You don't need full mana for this next part, you just want some mana. Alright, so now we're running back past those 2 mobs we CC'd earlier. You're going to want to CC them again. And if you've got anyone who can use slow fall or levitate, you want them to put it on everyone. That just saves you a little bit of time here. You can just float down towards the last boss of the instance. Okay, so last boss, Raygon. You can have 2 DPS use the turrets to go up on his head. You're going to want to organise beforehand who that's going to be. It really depends on your class makeup. You might want to have 2 people do it both times, or you might want to sort of rotate a little bit so that people can go up, blow all their cooldowns, and then have someone else go up instead. That's really up to you. There's these little ads on the ground meanwhile, and I don't know what these guys do, but they hurt. Suddenly the tank will be at 60% health, I'll be just casting a greater heal, and suddenly boom, he's dead. So yeah, I don't know what the gimmick of these guys is. We just kite them around because they're, yeah, kind of scary. Yeah, so meanwhile the 2 DPS are attacking the weak point on the boss. You want to try to get the boss, you want to try and destroy the weak point in 2 passes. Because at the 3rd pass, that's when a pretty scary ad spawns. He's called a Swarm Keeper, I think. He's pretty evil. He spawns these little ads that chase people around and snare them, and that's really bad news for Phase 2. So if you can kill the boss in 2 passes, then you won't have to worry about him. And meanwhile, these tornadoes are spawning. They can spawn on you, so be a little bit careful. But yeah, as you can see, there's not a lot of healing happening here, so you don't have to be full on mana going into this fight. It's not a very healing intensive fight, it's pretty much just execution. Alright, so now the carapace is broken and he's going to be chasing people. I like to throw down my light wheel so that it can heal people who I'm out of range of. Because healing range is a real pain in the butt on this fight. I'm trying to take him to a corner. And then he fixates our mage, and he actually gets a bit cut off here. So you see him he kites him to a rather funny place. But the actual stomp damage that the boss does, he does a stomp every time he finishes a fixate. It's not very much damage, you don't have to worry too much. Just make sure everyone has some kind of heal, and you might not even have to heal people, they might just survive. Yeah, so a mage kited him right up the stairs. But it's okay because he was about to die. And there you go, that was Gate of the Setting Sun. I found it quite a challenge as a healer, and I will see you next time.